whiz, it's Robin Hood!
What's up, you beautiful collectors and Disney fans? Once again, it's the one and only Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And on today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the new-ish Super7 Ultimates Robin Hood from Disney's Robin Hood, which is one of my favorite classic Disney animations of all time. I just never really knew if I wanted the figures, but the folks over at Big Bad Toy Store was having an amazing sale on these, so I decided to pick them up. As you can see, you do get this brown mailer. It says Disney, Robin Hood, Super7 logo down there. Nothing really else going on. You got the warnings and the contact information back there, but kind of doing this like the Silverhawk reviews. You open this. This is going to be my first reaction to this kind of thing. So opening this up, sliding that out, and there is the package, which that looks pretty nice. You do have this little thing here, so let's tear that off because nobody cares about that. I don't know. I'm gonna rip it off. Here we go. Come on. Get off the box. The box is gorgeous on here. Very much like that Silverhawk style packaging with this really cool reflective look. You see Robin Hood, you got the arrows. Looks like it's a big giant tree, which is really cool. And then you got Disney here in the background. I dig that. And then you got like this. Yeah, it totally looks like it's wood. I like that. That's really neat. And then this just, I think this just slips up. Maybe. There we go. There we go. Slide that up there, and there he is. There is Robin Hood. Now, the cool thing about Robin Hood is he comes with an alternate outfit, that being the stork that he dressed up as during the archery tournament. Really very cool looking. Now, I have seen some other videos on this, and I also really like how it is done up in that archery tournament sort of look with like the tents and everything and the little flags. That's cool. Oh, look at that. And there's Robin Hood. Got a little read up right there on there, which I dig. I've always really liked that. Like I said, in terms of Disney movies, Robin Hood, Sword in the Stone, movies like that, I always really loved as I was growing up. But really very nice. I love the logo here. Now, like I talked about, I have seen other reviews of this that are kind of critical of this set, like the articulation, the posability, the joints, things of that nature in terms of the tightness of them have all been issues that a lot of people have had. So I'm hoping that my copy here doesn't really have that. My fingers are crossed, but we'll see. But for the packaging on this guy, that's about it. Really cool, very impressive. I love the work that they do with their packaging. It's all very, very high quality. But we're not here to take a look at that. We're here to get this guy out here. So let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. Alright, so here we have Robin Hood opened up and out of his packaging. And you know, I really gotta say that this really does impress me. For the most part, you get two completely different looks for this character. And while you can't utilize both of the looks to create two individual figures, I'm still really impressed with what Super7 pulled off here. As an Ultimates figure, he comes with a lot of stuff. Starting off first with the alternate, and probably what's going to be the least displayed look, at least I think, the stork. The disguise that he used to enter in the archery tournament to kind of get the attention of Maid Marian for the most part. Up first, you do get the alternate portrait, which this is terrific looking. I'm going to say this probably several times through this review, but this really does look like it completely jumped off the animation. This is outstanding. Color-wise, you got a lot of really nice painted details. You got the purple hat, the little flower up here with the green stem, and the little yellow bit right there in the center. Looking at the face itself, you have the little necktie going around just kind of hiding more of his face. You can see what are essentially the actual eyes of him right there, but then the beak that comes out, which was like held on by string, and then you can see actually got nice detail on the inside of the mouth with like a tongue in there. This is absolutely fantastic. I love how this turned out. Again, really very much looks like it just jumped right off the screen. And then coming down to look at the rest from the top down, he does come with his little, not really a cloak, but like a really long shirt, I suppose. It is a little bit stretchy, and as you can see, it is a soft goods material, all stitched very nicely. Everything on here looks really good. One thing that I will say is that, and you'll see this here in a minute, I wish it was a little bit longer. And I'll explain why that is here in a bit, but very nice. Again, you got this nice olive green color, which works perfectly fine. The arms, or hands, as I should say, are all done up with these guys. You get several different ones. You got like this kind of clutching sort of thing. You can kind of see that like this is meant to be the thumb, and then you got little feathers down here. Now this actually attaches to his wrists. So you would pop those hands off, and those are going to plug in there, and then you're going to have that come down here, and it'll kind of hang out right there, which is really very cool. You also do get just a kind of right and left hand, I guess. Well, hold on. No, maybe. I don't know which ones I'm grabbing. Maybe that? I don't even know. But you got this one here that just has a little bit of a opening. You have two hands here that this is kind of just, well, maybe that's, I don't even know. But you get several. You got, I'm just kind of messing up. This little one right here, where it kind of looks like it's pulling the string on the arrow, and then maybe this one kind of holds the arrow, or maybe that one holds it, or no, that I don't know. But you got different hands that you can use for it, and you do have the bow and arrow. You got two different ones. This one is done up to kind of look like a twig with like really nice green leaves painted on there. You do have a string section here, which is stretchy, and you can bam, 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 just like that. And then, of course, you do get an extra arrow with it, which you just take that and pull that back, and you can, let's see if I can actually do it. Like, no, that's not going to do it. Maybe, well, maybe if I just hold it there and shoot. No, well, does something like that. He also does come with a quiver, and I'm not showing that right now because of what I'm going to show here in a bit. But this is something that I do want to talk about. Coming down to the rest of them, you do have these legs here, which will attach to another lower torso of him to create the look. And again, I'm going to show that here in a minute because something basically happened. You can see this leg is perfectly fine. It attaches to the ankles on him, has the long stick, and then the feet down here because he's a stork. I broke mine. And what I will say is that the folks over at Super7 really kind of blew me away with their customer service with this. Literally, when I opened this, I held this probably 2 feet from the ground. I was sitting down in my desk chair, and I was about 2 feet away from the ground itself. And this, I dropped it. It fell, and when it fell, it did that. It broke. The top foot here busted off, the actual stick section. I contacted them, and what they did, I was honestly just expecting them to send me a new leg. That would have been perfectly fine for me. Instead, they sent me not only the leg, but an entire new figure, which is going to allow me to have basically 2 different things here to kind of display, which blew my mind. Super7, you went above and beyond for me, and I cannot thank you guys enough, and I'm just absolutely impressed by this. I just expected a new leg, and they sent me a completely new figure set, which, like I said, allows me to basically now have 2 characters, which is amazing. And you can see the assembly on this. He also does come with the quiver, which I was talking about, why I said I was showing on, because I had it on here. But you got the nice arrows in there. You got this, just loops around here. And then you can dress them up. And this is the part where I was talking about that I wish that the shirt was a little bit longer, because it's literally, it stops literally right there, and you can kind of see his feet if it moves around. Now, lifting this up, I was talking about the other torso. Now, what you do to kind of assemble this, and you can already see it's all fully assembled, is you get a lower section right here that you detach those legs. It just pegs on there, and you plug these ones on here. Now, these thighs are not articulated or anything. The articulation is all done here in the ankles. You have a pin swivel sort of thing going on there, which allows you to kind of rotate that around, hinge it forward and back, all that kind of stuff. One thing that I will say that I wish that they actually did was put a swivel in these, because when you have it up here, you're constantly trying to get him to balance, and it's not all that easy to do, because he is a very tall, lanky guy that you can see you have to futz with him to get him to stand. You can do it, but it's a very heavy upper section and thin sections down here. I wish you could rotate these around, just because you can't really do it very easily without moving that entire thing. And it alters the positioning of the feet, and therefore the positioning of these lower feet. So it is tricky to do. You can do it, as you can see, but very, very tricky to kind of do. But I love the, and then you can see you got like a little tail section down here. I love this alternate look for him. One thing I will say is he was only in this for a brief time. I mean, it was a very iconic scene in the film, so I get why they went with this. I almost kind of wish that they went with another alternate look for him, that being the poor beggar man that he often kind of did throughout the movie. That would have been better, in my opinion. But I still love this. I have no problem with this at all. I just think that would have been a cooler kind of look. And then the other accessory that kind of comes along with this sort of thing is because he did win the tournament, you do get the golden arrow. And again, this is absolutely gorgeous looking coming in. You can see very nice gold paint on the arrow itself. You got the nice purple cushion there. You can kind of see that it's indented on there, kind of denoting that this is a heavy sort of piece that's weighing down the cushion. But all the way around, you got the little tassels on the different corners and such. Well, maybe. What happened here? Those, you know, I'm going to be totally honest with you. Morgan has been playing with this, so I think she broke this. But again, I have another one. So, amazing, amazing. And then you got this very nice pink undersection, which looks absolutely fantastic. I really love this. Got a very nice gold paint on there, which looks really very cool. But that is the alternate setup for this guy. The main look for him, again, he does come with a nice quiver with some arrows on there. They are not removable, and you do get another arrow itself that you can pull out and kind of use. I wish there was a hole right here where you can slide that down there and kind of have that, but you can't. You got the strap right here, which is kind of molded in a very specific sort of way, so it'll lay very nicely in the proper section. As I said, you do get the arrow. You do get another bow section, which is a little bit smaller, which makes sense because this guy, as you can see, is very big, and it needs to be bigger. So you got a very nice size difference with those, and then you got the string section there as well. You do get an alternate pair of hands, which is him kind of with a thumb with the little section here, probably to kind of like maybe pull that back like that. And then this, oh yeah, totally. That pulls it back, and then you can see that this is where you would probably put the arrow, because there's a small little gap here. Oh, no, there it goes. That will instantly become Pepper/Morgan toy, but you can see that there's a small gap here that you can kind of wedge that in. Get it in there. It's not easy to do, because the gap isn't all that good, honestly. I mean, you kind of can do it. Maybe if I heat that up a little bit, just kind of separate that a little bit more. But you're gonna put that there, or maybe, no, I would imagine that that's gonna be that, but you're gonna probably have that pulled back, and you would do something like that, you know, to kind of do it. So you might have to heat that up to kind of separate that, but you can kind of see the little gap right there. You also do get another alternate portrait. This is a very fun one. I don't like how it's warped like this, but this is a softer material, so I could probably straighten that by just, you know, using a hairdryer or something like that. Straighten that out so that looks good. But you can see that he's got a little cross-eye sort of thing. This was when they were escaping, and he actually, the little John was like, well, that was a close one, and he's like, that's how close it was. And he's like, oh, they're getting better. And you got an arrow going through his hat. And he's like, oh, that was my favorite hat, too. So I love that. I think that's really cool. Again, great paint detail. You got the very cool expression on him. I absolutely love it. Now we come to just the regular Robin Hood figure himself. Again, really very nice. Paint applications look amazing. And as I mentioned, really does look like it jumped off the screen all the way around. It's really well done. You got a very nice smile on there. You got the hat with the little feather. Great paint detail, as I mentioned. Articulation is a little bit off on this, and I'll get to that here in a bit. But all the way around, and then like I was talking about with that, you literally just take that, separate that, and then you take this upper body, you plug it onto the crouching legs, and then with the little feather hands, you just literally pull those off like that, and then plug those on there. You're going to create that look for it. And then you literally then take his head, pop that off. It's just on a ball joint. And then you would put the stork head on there. And then that's how you would create that look for him. And then, of course, put the little shirt over him and everything. So get that on there like that. Get that on there like that. And then, again, great paint detail with the belt, with the buckle on there. And then coming down to the legs and everything looks really good. You got the tail section here, which is on like a pin hinge joint as well. The articulation on them, though, is a little bit wonky. So you do get a nice up and down because there is an up or down joint. But it's a ball joint, so the top section just kind of rotates. One thing that I don't particularly like is it automatically just kind of... when it goes off on the side, it's like he's looking up. And I'm not a big fan of that. I wish I could angle that down somewhere, and then I'm like, because that just looks weird. Shoulders here, I do like how it kind of goes down with the sleeve and everything, but you got the pin hinge joint right there, which does rotate, or also at that section, which is why I don't know why they couldn't have put a swivel thing down here. I really do wish that they did. You'd have a hinge and a swivel at the actual elbow, so you got the bicep rotation, you got the elbow that also does have a rotation, wrists do hinge forward and back, they move in and out, all that kind of stuff. Make sure that's in there all the way. You do have a upper diaphragm ball joint, but again, it's kind of limited because of the angle that it's on. It just kind of flexes forward and back. It doesn't really, it slightly rotates, but most of the rotation you can do down here at the waist, which is perfectly fine. The legs here, though, the hips just seem to kind of swivel. I don't know if there's a hinge in there, so it just kind of like does like this hacky sack sort of thing. And then the knees do have a bend and then also a swivel as well. The ankles do the same sort of thing, the forward and back, and then you have a bit of a rotation down there. So one thing that I have noticed is that you do kind of have to play with his ankles a little bit and his legs to get a good balance, again, to get him to stand. You don't want, I mean, you kind of want him standing straight, so, I mean, that's good, but you do have to, like I said, kind of futz with these feet to kind of get that where you're able to kind of balance them nicely. And then, as I mentioned, the tail does have that hinge that can go up and down. I really can't think of a lot wrong with this. I know some people have complained about the balance issues. I think that the balance issue, especially for the store, could have been fixed by having a swivel down there at the ankles. Just a swivel, not a hinge or anything. Just literally be able to rotate those around independently from the ankles themselves. Let me do this. This is fun. There we go. With the little arrow there. I dig that. But for all intent and purposes, really a very good release. If you are a fan of the animated movies, this is definitely one that I would consider. I'm a big fan of the Robin Hood film, and I think that they did a great job recreating these guys. I think that the overall, and you can like take these, the overall execution has been pretty good. I will definitely say that I'm more impressed with this than I thought I would be. I didn't really expect a lot with it, but for all intent and purposes, I think that they did a great job on him, and I do have to give them kudos for actually, no, he's going to pull that out like that, you know, for actually giving me this extra. Now, and this is not a sponsored video or anything, and people are going to be like, oh, they sent you an extra one because, you know, you're doing a review of it. They had no idea that I was doing a review of this. I did not mention that at all. That was not brought up. I did not tell them who I am. None of that. This was completely just them doing customer service, which is great. I mean, because had I not, you know, gotten it from them, I would have just contacted Big Bad Toy Store where I actually got the figure from, and they probably would have sent me, you know, just an extra leg or something. But I love it. I really think that they did a great job with this, and I now basically have a completely extra figure, which I can't tell you how much better this is. But ignoring all of that, in terms of the actual piece itself, I'm really impressed. As I've said, it looks like it jumped off the screen. Articulation could be a little bit better, but it's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. All the accessories are extremely well done. And just, for me, the cool factor of having Robin Hood from the animated film is a huge geek out moment for me. I mentioned earlier that Robin Hood, Sword of the Stone, those are all absolute favorite animated movies of mine. And I really do hope that they do more. I would love a Little John, maybe a Friar Tuck. Maid Marian would be fun. Lots of options out there. And hey, Super7, if you're listening, Sword in the Stone, that'd be great too. But there you go, guys. There's my look at the new Super7 Ultimates Robin Hood from the Disney animated film of Robin Hood. If you'd like to add this to your collection, it is available right now over at Big Bad Toy Store. I'm not entirely sure if it's still on sale, but regardless, I'll put a link right down there in the video description where you can swing on by and check out availability on this, as well as the rest of the wide range of Super7 figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. As always, I want to thank you all so much for tuning in and watching, and until next time, this is Optibotimus saying adios, au revoir, and auf Wiedersehen.